Okay. Cabinet members and officers, welcome to this multi-locational meeting of the Cabinet as Trustees of Blackwood Miners Institute, held at Penalta House and via Microsoft Teams on Wednesday the 21st of January 2026 at 11:30 a.m. Members of the public or press may attend or in person or at Penalta House. This meeting will be live streamed and a recording made available to view on the Council's website, except for discussions involving confidential or exempt items. Therefore, the images and the audio of those individuals present and or speaking at Cabinet will be publicly available to view via the recording on the Council website www.caerphilly.gov.uk. Okay, first on the agenda is to receive apologies for absence. I don't think we have any, unless Councillor George, are you available? Are you online? Yes. He is? Is he? Awesome. Okay, no Cabinet member. Apologies then. Margaret Williams. And nobody else. Nigel. Okay then, declarations of interest. Councillors and officers are reminded of their personal responsibility to declare any personal and or prejudicial interests in respect of any items of business on the agenda in accordance with the Local Government Act 2000, the Council's Constitution and the Code of Conduct for both councillors and officers. Are there any declarations of interest at all? No. In that case, we'll go on to agenda item 3. And that's Cabinet as Trustees, the minutes of the Blackwood Miners Institute held on the 10th of December 2025, and go through them in page order. Page 1, 2, 3 and 4. Somebody prepared to move the minutes? Chris Morgan. And second, Lane Forehead. Show of hands, please. Agreed? Okay. Item agenda number 4 then is the Blackwood Miners Institute Audit Wales Inquiries Return 23 and 24, and I will introduce the report. Okay, so this report presents our responses to Audit Wales as part of the full audit of the Blackwood Miners Institute 23 to 24 financial statements. Because the Institute's income exceeded the £1 million threshold last year, a full audit is required, and Audit Wales has asked a series of standard questions about our financial management, fraud prevention and compliance processes. The report went to the Governance and Audit Committee on the 20th of January 2026, which was yesterday, and was endorsed by the committee. So members as trustees are asked to review and endorse return. Okay. Be prepared to second?
I'll second it. And we've got
yeah, of course, yeah. Okay, Councillor Lennon-Stenner and Councillor Stenner, I'll ask you a question.
Okay, so as the leader just mentioned, in 2023-24 Blackwood Miners, the income exceeded £1 million, reaching the Charity Commission's audit threshold for a full audit of its financial statements. How does the income vary from previous years, or is it the income broadly in line with previous years?
So what I should have done before I moved on to yourself, Leonard, was introduce Mark Jones from Audit Wales. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Chair. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Questions been asked. Leanne?
Yeah. So the income for 23-24 was 1.170 million, an increase of 238k from 22-23. If we look back historically, income was 843k pre-COVID, and it then dropped to 409k in 2021, and has been increasing steadily since.
Okay. Okay. Councillor Chris Morgan.
If I'm looking at item 5.8, we've got 3 bullet points with regards to what Audit Wales have brought up. I don't know if the auditor can talk about these bullet points. It's lack of specific bank account and financial ledger.
Sorry, Chris, I think that's the next report. My apologies for that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Right, I'll go on. You carry on.
Yeah. Okay. we're on the Audit Wales inquiries return. Sorry, my mistake there. We're confusing the reports here. So. Okay, no. So on the BMI inquiries return 23-24 on Appendix 1. So confuse the reports here a little bit. We've got a range of other questions. I think I've confused the report slightly. Apologies for that.
We've got another question.
Yeah. Can I go to Councillor Amanda McConnell? Is that okay?
Can an officer and a representative from Audit Wales provide general views on the charity's risk assessment process relating to financial reporting?
Okay, Leanne? Yeah.
Yeah, so Audit Wales have indicated there are opportunities to further strengthen the charity's financial reporting risk assessment processes. They've made 5 recommendations which are all accepted by officers and they are discussed in the later report. These identify areas where controls, reconciliations and transparency could be enhanced. While these improvements cannot be implemented in full for 24-25 or 25-26, they will be fully addressed for the 26-27 accounts. The charity does maintain separate ledger codings to distinguish income and direct costs, and it operates within Caerphilly CBC's governance framework, system and financial procedures. However, the wider BMI transformation programme has resulted in significant staff turnover and loss of experience, increasing the risk of reporting areas. To mitigate this, the technical finance accounting team will deliver additional training, strengthen daily income reconciliations, ensure income is recognised in the correct financial year and enhance quality assurance processes to address all of Audit Wales recommendations. Key issue remains because BMI uses the authority's bank account and is fully subsidised by Caerphilly CBC. It's therefore not possible to separately identify the BMI's cash and cash equivalents for the balance sheet. Audit Wales have recommended establishing a separate bank account and asset register to resolve this, and this will be actioned for the 26-27 accounts.
Thank you, Leanne. Anybody from Audit Wales like to comment at all at this point, or wait to the next report?
Whatever is best for you, Chair. By the next report, do you mean our audit report? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. Okay. We're good. Okay. But no further questions on the statement of accounts? No. In that case, Rob will go to the vote.
Certainly, leader, members, there's a poll in front of you. Could please cast your vote as trustees.
Coming up for me, Rob, but I'll vote verbally in favour.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else having difficulties? I've only got okay, leader. So with you, that's a unanimous approval of the recommendation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Okay, we'll now move on to the annual report and audited statement of accounts. The report presents the annual report and audited statement of accounts for the Blackwood Miners Institute for 23 to 24. This year marks the first full audit for BMI as income exceeded over £1 million charity commission threshold. Audit Wales has issued a disclaimer of opinion due to 3 key matters identified during the audit. These are outlined within the report. Despite these challenges, the Institute had a highly successful year with strong audience growth and continued support from the Arts Council for Wales. The report also outlines the ongoing work to strengthen governance, address audit recommendations and to continue the BMI's transition and sustainability planning. The annual report and audited statement of accounts for the Blackwood Miners Institute for 23-24 was presented to the Governance and Audit Committee on the 20th of January 2026 and was endorsed by the committee. Trustees, members are asked to consider and comment upon the Audit Wales Report of Accounts Report, Appendix 1, and consider and approve the 2023-24 Annual Report and Audited Statement of Accounts, Appendix 2, before they are submitted to the Charity Commission. Members will note that a revised Appendix 2 was circulated to Cabinet as trustees prior to the meeting due to an error identified with the published report, including the previous year audit certificate. I will now introduce Mark Jones from Audit Wales to present the Audit Wales Audit of Accounts report. Sorry, Mark. Tongue twister.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I'll take the report, the audit report, as read, but I will comment briefly on it as well, and then take any questions. And my colleague here, Vaughan Davis, is here today as well in the meeting. So, yeah, I mean, the charity itself goes back to 1990, and on reorganisation in 1996, came to Caerphilly. So it goes back quite a while. But for that history, really, to the best of our knowledge, because archived records are not kept as far back as 1990, this would have been a limited assurance audit, a very light touch audit, called an independent examination. So there's been many years of light touch audit, and that changed for 2023-24 as has already been flagged and is in the report because of the income threshold being exceeded. So that was a very different type of audit, and a full audit and an opinion-based audit. So in terms of the issues that are kind of lead into the disclaimer of opinion, because of what we see and judge to be a pervasiveness in terms of error within the accounts, we have the cash and cash equivalents issue that Leanne has touched on. This is the 4th year we are reporting on that issue. So the lighter touch audit did kind of pick up this issue and reported it in the previous 3 years. So it's the 4th year that we're reporting that issue. And then there's the fixed assets. So the full audit identified that the charity has many assets. It's a theatre, so clearly there are assets involved, and the building, and not the building itself, but the contents of the building, the bar, and so forth. But there's no asset register or any ledger kind of content for those assets. So the other area was the fixed assets. And then the income, where we were finding high levels of error in the income. Some of those errors we could quantify, and therefore they were adjustments. So in the accounts, you will in our audit report rather, you will see that we set out adjustments to some of those errors. They were quantifiable, and some of the other errors where we were taking extended testing and then further extended testing, the projections on the audit error was kind of above our materiality level, and therefore some of the income errors couldn't be kind of quantified and pinned down. So that was an issue there. So those are the 3 areas backing up the disclaimer of the opinion, which we're reporting, and the AGW is kind of due to certify on Friday. That goes through a mandated process within Audit Wales. So when there's a modified opinion, and there's various versions of a modified opinion, and this is one of them, a disclaimer opinion, that goes through a 2-tier mandated process where another audit director does a peer review of the audit file and of the audit, and then the technical team, again at a senior level, does a review of that audit file. So there's quite a robust internal process to make sure that audit team has got the audit right in terms of their conclusions and their summing up. So it's worth mentioning that to members. One of the other points I'll make is that within the report, we say that we found nothing unsatisfactory in terms of the charity complying with grant terms and conditions. So when it was having grant from the Arts Council for Wales, for example, there were no concerns in terms of they set terms and conditions and you have to comply with them. And there were positive findings in that area. And therefore, that's certainly, a factor to mention. There are 5 recommendations in there, as you know, and Leanne mentioned, and unsurprisingly, most of those recommendations are in the 3 areas that are in the report and I've just been talking about. And we do say in those recommendations, some of them, this is a difficult area. You're trying to fix historical issues, and therefore we understand it's going to be challenging. But we are very much here to talk to you and be part of that process in the months ahead. Given an audit perspective, we always have to retain that independence, the auditor independence, and that's key to us. So, but from an audit perspective, we're there to kind of pick up on that. And if I was to give an example, just to give an example, the fixed assets, for example, the 24-25 year account, I think Leanne touched on it earlier, the 24-25 year account has passed. The 25-26 year account will be passed in a couple of months, and therefore it may be that 26-27 is the year of account where some of these issues are kind of dealt with, and that's a discussion for officers to have. But that may be where it's 26-27 that kind of where the focus is. And what I would say on that is if you took fixed assets, for example, that 26-27 set of accounts will have prior year figures and an opening position, and that opening position would be 1st of April 2026. So 1st of April 2026 is a very good time to take a stock take of all fixed assets that the charity has, and to kind of put some kind of value on them, whether it's a cost or it's a valuation. That 1st of April 2026, that's a couple of months away, 2-3 months away. That's quite a key point. So there are aspects like that where there are, while you may be focusing on 26-27 accounts, that may be how you wish to go forward. 1st of April 2026 is very close, and that's a key date for some of these actions. So I'll make one final point before I stop, and that's the Charity Commission expects or requires auditors to write to them when they have a modified audit opinion. So here we will be writing, covering letter, if you like, from the Auditor General to the Charity Commission, and we're required to append our audit report. So the report that you see before you today would be appended to the AGW's letter, and that would be going to the Charity Commission. It's already a public document, of course, from the GAC that you had yesterday. So it's a public document, but the Auditor General is required to directly kind of send it to the Charity Commission. And I thought I'd close my comments by just making that clear to everybody at Cabinet today. So I'll stop there, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Mark. I wonder, Leanne, just based on what Mark said there about, obviously it's in the public domain, the report is, but the Charities Commission, is there anything from a finance point of view that we need to sort of highlight about getting that in within the relevant time, or what are the difficulties with disentangling ourselves, kind of thing, from where we were to where we are now, perhaps?
Yeah, so like you said, we can only fix it going forward, and like Mark said, I won't be able to get that done for the 24-25 or 25-26 accounts, because 24-25 is already closed and we're already towards the end of 25-26, so I can only work toward 26-27. To address the recommendations, it will require setting up a separate bank account and for the BMI and an asset register, which we will do, and we will try to do for the 26-27 accounts. I'm not understanding from past experience. I've had difficulty setting up bank accounts before, but you know, we're going to give it our best attempt. The ledger is already set up so that I am confident that all the costs and the income are separately identified, particularly for direct ones. It's the indirect support, like you said, it's a complicated arrangement, isn't it? So there is a lot to do, but we are working really closely with Audit Wales colleagues. And they're providing, like you said, they are independent, but they are providing us with guidance and support. And we've got the financial team now going to give it all over. We're going to increase the assurance on the returns for 24-25. So we will be able to address 3 of those recommendations for the recent accounts. And say we try to write the reports as clearly as we can and not technically, because it is a technical issue, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it is very difficult for the average person on the street to understand these technical reports. Yeah, we totally understand that. And just to say, Mark, we value the independence of Audit Wales, so that's your job, and you know we will take constructive challenge, very very seriously. One thing you did say regarding the grants that we've had from the very successful grants we've had from the Arts Council of Wales, which has very much helped us at the BMI, is I think you said something along the lines of nothing unsuccessful about the grant process coming in, and actually we've got quite complimentary of the way I think that it's been handled with that. Maybe, could you just elaborate on that as to what you meant by that then?
Yeah, I think I said nothing unsatisfactory rather than unsuccessful. There was nothing unsatisfactory. I should have probably said it differently and said it was satisfactory. It's probably easier, isn't it? But yeah, when we attest an income, we will, on many audits, look at the terms and conditions set, in this case by our Arts Council, and ensure that the public body complies with the terms of the grant. So that's a positive area of the audit. With the grant conditions, the charity was meeting the grant conditions. So whilst there are accounting issues that we've talked about, the conditions, you did what you were meant to do for receiving that money, is satisfactory. So we just wanted to make that clear and mention it in this cabinet meeting,
Okay, thank you.
as we did yesterday at GAC.
Yeah, okay, that's great. Any further questions from Cabinet?
The questions I got to be answered.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Rob, no further questions then?
Yeah, thanks, Leader. So, members, if you could vote on the recommendations within the report on the poll that is before you now. Anybody having any difficulty, please let me know and I will record how you have voted. And Leader, the recommendations as trustees, you have unanimously approved them. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Rob. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, everyone online. Thank you, Councillor George. Thank you, members of the Cabinet and officers. That's the end of the meeting, and I declare it closed.
Thank you.
Thanks, Linda.